Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. On behalf of the AWS Student Builder Group, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to today's session on AWS AI Services. Today's session will help us understand how AWS is making AI accessible and practical for developers and innovators. We are excited to have an accomplished speaker joining us today, and I'm sure this session will be insightful for everyone. Without further delay, let us introduce our guest speaker. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Ms. Bhoomi Raut. She is an AWS Community Builder in AI Engineering, an AWS three-time certified professional, AWS New Voices speaker for 2025 and 2026, and a passionate technology community leader. She has delivered multiple talks and workshops on cloud computing, generative AI, AWS services, and technology careers across universities and AWS communities. We are delighted to have her with us today and are excited to learn from her experience and insights. Over to you, Bhumi ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tia, and thank you so much, AWS Student Builder Group, for inviting me for this session. So, just give me a minute. And before starting for a presentation, I would like to have one quite fun interaction with the students. Like, abhi dinner ka time ho raha hai, so some people might be planning for the dinner, some might be planning for the session. So, guys, can you put in the chat exactly for what you are planning? आज क्या प्लान है आपका डिनर का? So excited to see कि चैट बॉक्स में क्या आता है. Okay, okay, masala bun ke. Dinner will be after the session. Cool, cool. Okay, so let me present my screen. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, it's good evening. uh, Good evening, everyone. So today, like, I'm going to talk about AWS AI services. But instead of just going into just mugging up the services, I would like to relate it with one of my story. So you all might be, you might have experience while applying for any internship or for any like application, might be registering for any event. Then everywhere there is an AI used nowadays in the market. So today we'll see how AI is used in the modern hiring processes. So, what exactly happens when we click either on an apply button or a submit button? Uh, might be either submitting our resume or might be submitting any application. So, what exactly happened behind the scene? So, recently I saw one LinkedIn post where, like, the post was mentioning about the recruitment processes. Like it was saying about that 66% of the recruiters nowadays they are using artificial intelligence to screen the candidates, and even before the application goes to an a human recruiter. So one day, like I just asked this question to my mentor, like it is a very obvious and a genuine question in this competitive market, that how AI can reject us before and humans see, because how AI, because AI is trained on some content or the models. So how AI can reject us before any human sees us, because uh, how AI can like predict our skills or how they can judge us. So my question to mentor was, please give a suggestion on this, that in this scenario, what we can do. So my mentor replied, can't use AI to revamp. So I thought, like I was having a long discussion with him. Like, yes, we are using AI nowadays for almost everything, for designing the resumes, then for even asking any simple question, we directly jump onto an AI tool and we start chatting with it. Then after a long discussion, I got the context behind his question, that if AI is uh, analyzing or deciding the which applications to be selected and which to be rejected, then why we can't use the same technology to revamp our resume? As if we give effective if we do the effective use of artificial intelligence, like if we give effective prompts, like we assign a role to AI, then we give a proper job description to AI, then what all things are expected from our side from the job description, then it can help us generate the effective resume. So So today's what will be investigating is, we will be understanding the artificial intelligence, that is the building blocks behind any application or maybe any process nowadays. So our today's agenda is, we'll be discussing about cloud computing, then what is AWS, what it provides, then we'll talk about more about AI, then AI services on AWS, what all services AWS provides, and the practical demonstration, like how exactly the services works. So, can someone tell me about cloud computing? Like, what you all guys know about cloud or cloud computing, or where you guys are using it? Okay, so you can even turn on your mic and you can reply, or you can put it in your chat box as well. What does the cloud mean? Okay, on-demand resources in real time. Someone can give answer as a cloud जो बादल होते. Okay, using services like Drive instead of using local computer. Yes, perfect. So, cloud matlab, like most of us, we use Google Drive, right? Where we store our documents. Then even you might have experienced it during our any cultural fest. We people used to click photographs with our friends in their mobile or in our friend's mobile. Then after the event, we ask them to share their photographs with us. But sometimes happens is that the number of photographs, they overrides our capacity of our mobile, or the storage capacity of our mobile. So to overcome that challenge, the came up with the Google Drive, where we can store our documents, then Google Photos, where we store our photographs, and then then even it also creates nice memories using our stored images, right? So the same way, the AWS has also introduced their own services. So cloud computing is basically about the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet. So in my last talk at your university in the last year in 2025, I delivered the talk at IGDTU on introduction to AWS and cloud computing. That time I talk about one example. I relate Tiffin box as a cloud, or we can relate tiffin box as a cloud, because I think the way our mother gives us a tiffin, the tiffin has different containers, right? Different sections where we store, where we put sabji, then in another section we put chapati, then dal rice. So the similarly, cloud also has different containers where we store our data. It can also be called as remote warehouse, or a very simple example, we can take it as electricity. The way whenever like we use electricity at our home, but we do not install those electricity power house at our own home. Similarly, we do not invest in the data centers
Yes,
or
before closing model.
sorry. Okay. So the similarly, like electricity, we do not install the data centers at our home, but we use whenever it is required to us, like whenever it is required. So like cloud computing gives us access to services like storage, then computing power, then databases. So basically, the cloud providers, it provides the this kind of services. And the benefits of cloud computing, we can say, is like agility. It is agile because whenever, for example, someone is new into this field of cloud computing, then they might be experimenting with different services, or they might not be knowing about the particular services. So to experiment with those services and to try the innovative ways, it it gives the agility, so that it gives us freedom to experiment with those services and test it. Like for example, if you want to try any service, you can quickly access that service from the console, from the cloud console, and you can use it, you can experiment it, whether it fails or whether it succeeds. And after that, immediately you can try the different services, or you may go for the another required service due to might be requirement of your application or the project use case. Then another benefit is elasticity. So elasticity means, as in earlier times, क्या होता था कि like people used to invest heavily invest in the data centers. लाइक उन्हें उनके बिजनेस के लिए सेपरेट एक डेटा सेंटर मतलब इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ता था, जहाँ पे दे यूज टू स्टोर देयर डेटा. बट what the challenge was that we can't we can't predict कि कितना capacity we need, because for example, if there is a sweet store, and at the time of Diwali there is a high number of requests from the customers, so at that time might be capacity ज़्यादा लग सकती है, and at the time, at the regular period, there might be less requirement of resources or the capacity of server. So at that, so we can predict कि कितनी capacity at this time we need required. So cloud providers provides us a benefit of elasticity. So as and when required, it scales up and scale down the resources. So we don't need to provision extra resources in the prior. Next is cost saving. So we only need to pay for the resources we have used. We do not need to pay for the resources which we haven't used, or which we like like in earlier example I talked about, like अगर हमें दिवाली के period में में ज्यादा कस्टमर रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है, सो अभी से ही हम ज्यादा कैपेसिटी रिजर्व करके नहीं रख सकते बिकॉज इट कॉस्ट अस. So that's why the cloud is cost saving, because as per our requirements, it charges only for the resources we use. We also called it as pay as you go. Then next is deploy globally in minutes. So as I'm sitting in India and my client is in America or might be in another country, and they want an application, so cloud overcomes this challenge of local deployment. So like for example, I'm sitting over here, so I can deploy application from here. In few clicks, my application will go live, and the person sitting in another regions can also access my application through multiple regions. So now we'll talk about AWS, that is Amazon Web Services. As earlier I talked about the Google Drive, the similarly AWS, that is the Amazon Web Services. So basically, Amazon was initially they started with the book delivery. Then later on, after a few years, they realized that they have a need of some IT services, like they need some website uh, to deliver or to present or to showcase their books available at their store, and to get a payment through the same website. So they started working on it, and in 2006 they launched Amazon Web Services with a few services like S3, then then the database. So basically, AWS is a cloud provider which provides over 200 services in the current scenario, and it provides services like compute storage, then database, then even analytic services, and the tools required for any enterprise applications or for any startups. So AWS is widely accepted by the enterprises and different startups, then medium-sized businesses in the public sector, because if you're a startup and you're starting with exploring their services, then AWS provides you the infrastructure where you can and the credits where you can explore different services without getting charged for it. Then let's talk about global infrastructure. So last time when I delivered the talk at your university, that time the AWS regions were 36 and the availability zones were 114. But this year they have expanded to the more regions. Like now they have expanded till 39 regions and 123 availability zones. So this is the real testimonial that we can see how AWS is expanding and growing day by day. So regions means basically they are a physical location. Like for example, Mumbai is a region where there are there are three availability zones, for example, and each availability zones consist of a data centers. Data centers means where the physical servers are stored, and they're powered by cooling. It requires a high amount of cooling. And yes, Hyderabad is also one of the region from India where we have different availability zones, and there the data centers are located. And in the data centers, there are the rack of servers they have installed, and where our data is being stored. So here the overall responsibility of our data is of the cloud provider of AWS. So we don't need to worry about our data, like for storing, for investing into the high infrastructure. The responsibility of our data is of those cloud providers. So after that, we'll talk about artificial intelligence. Now, instead of defining AI, I think every one of us is using AI every day for each and everything, even for drafting the mail, drafting any letter, or might be for our university examinations. Also, we use AI to get to if because as I know, I'm also a computer science graduate, so most of us study one night before the exam, and we don't have enough time to study, and we simply go to any AI tool, and we share our resources shared by our professors to the AI, and they and ask AI to summarize the content so that we can just go through it, and we can easily attend the exam in the next immediately next day. So everyone has their own different definitions for artificial intelligence, because nowadays AI is widely used for each and everything. So I just have a question that can a machine or can AI read, or they can see a content, or they can understand it, think it, or they can speak it? Okay, so what do you think? Can machines read each and everything we provide to it? Compare different sources to give right answer. Yes. Okay. Okay. So before going like for the next slide and answer to this question, I would just like to tell about the required features. Ultimately, many of tools like PyTorch. Yes. Right. Okay, so before going for the answer to this question, I would just like to tell about the AWS services. As if you are someone who is starting with the AI journey, or if you are a startup or a enterprise starting exploring the AI services or the AI journey, then AWS provides a specialized infrastructure to experiment with different AI services, and though with the lower cost, service your business application has the requirement of. So at the bottom, I have provided few resources so that you can go and check it in the depth. So AI is already around us, as we talk about, like every day we use AI. So Netflix is also one of the customer of AWS, and we can see like most of us we use Netflix. We watch web series. Then we, as per according to our searches, according to our watch history, Netflix recommend us the new series or the to watch the series. They recommend us about all things we can watch as per and interest. Then we use Google Maps or the map to navigate the directions or to navigate the routes. Then next is AI assistants. Like when I there is one story when I used to go to my vacations for the there at a family gathering. My cousins used to like ask very silly questions to AI assistants, like for example, Alexa, tum kahan rehti ho? What do you eat? Then Alexa, uh, what at what time do you sleep? At what time do you wake up? Etc. So many things. So this was a quite fun part. Then we use chatbots. Nowadays you can see chatbots at various almost of the websites. You can see the chatbots installed or integrated. The next is shopping platforms, where uh, according as per our search history, the platforms recommend us the newly launched products or the uh, shopping items. So AI is everywhere, almost in the every sector, the AI is being used. So now we'll talk about traditional AI and generative AI. Basically, in earlier days, what was happening is we need to train the AI with a structured schema or with a structured tables or the data sets, and the system was completely relying on the structured or the labeled data sets, and they were just like generating the content on the they were just replying or giving the output on the basis of the trained data sets. But in the case of generative AI, the required models can be unstructured. Then they includes large language models. Means we are training the systems, and after that, generative AI means that models are pre-training themselves, or they are training themselves from the new inputs they are getting. For example, if I have given any input and AI replies me, then I give something new data to it. For example, I upload uh, my university notes or my exam notes to the AI. When it studies it, and it also learn from the new data, and it understands it in the general language, and then it generates a new data as well. But in the case of traditional AI, it was not generating the new data. It was unable to answer the new questions or to new content. But in generative AI, it is able to understand the new data and reply uh, with generating new data. So, so there is one question like, can AI reject you before a human sees your resume? As earlier we discussed that I asked this question to my mentor, that how AI can reject our resume before any uh, human eye reviews it. So we'll understand exactly what happens in between when we while we submit the resume and and the recruiter sees it. In that process, what exactly happens, we'll understand it. So we'll investigate even when we click on apply button and we get a shortlisted mail. In that process, what exactly happens? What all the processes are happening in this hiring or the modern AI era? So if we talk about how humans process the information. So if someone gives resume to me, what I'll do is I'll take that hard copy in my hand. I'll see it. I'll read that entire resume line by line. I'll just uh, review the overview the resume. Then I'll understand what exactly the context of that resume is. Then I'll think over it that exactly does it fit to my job description or not, and then I'll communicate, that is, I'll speak. So this is a process of a human, like how human reviews anything. But what exactly happens in the case of AI? So there are several services provided by AWS which are responsible for like analyzing the text, then for the intelligently giving the response to the provided input, then to understand the context behind the document. So today's our main focus or the main agenda is to understand the services, the AI services provided by the AWS, how exactly they are being uh, or they are being utilized or performed behind the scenes. So, for example, now we have received the resume. So, can AI read this? So, as we know, or the simply from the image or from the Amazon text extract, you can get it. That text extract means it is responsible to extract the text from the document, right? But how exactly it works? Before uh, as we have human has a different language and machine has a different language. So what Amazon text extract do is like we upload a resume in a PDF form, but PDF is just a document. It is not intelligent enough so that text extract the text from it. It converts it into a machine readable form. So it is responsible for converting, extracting the text and converting into a machine readable form. Then next is, now we have a text in a machine readable form, but can AI understand it? So there is a difference between understanding and the context behind uh, the document uploaded or the content uploaded. So Amazon comprehend, not just understand, but it also analyzes the context behind that document or the context. For example, if I ask someone what is Python, तो कोई लोग बोल सकते पाइथन इज अ प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, कोई बोल सकता है कि इट इज अ स्नेक. So both the answers that has different context. So my question was, like कि पाइथन क्या है, मतलब आई वाज asking in the context of इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, मतलब अभी टेक इंडस्ट्री के कंटेक्स्ट में आई वाज आस्किंग. सो हियर कॉम्प्रेहेंड इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द कंटेक्स्ट बिहाइंड द क्वेश्चन or the content. Then now AI has understand the context, it has a text. Now how it can help us improve our resume. So here the Bedrock comes into the picture, and it is a widely used service in the AWS. Like when we give a prompt to a Bedrock or a Bedrock playground, then there are several models in the Bedrock playground, foundation models, which are responsible for analyzing, then to intelligently respond uh, to the question asked. So Bedrock is something where we have, it is a centralized platform where we have different n number of foundational models. Maybe some are from the AWS itself, Amazon foundational models, and some are from other partners, AWS partners. They provides the models, and each model has their different capabilities. And according to our requirement, our application requirement, our customer requirement, we can choose the relevant model to get the response from the for the given input or for the given prompt. Then next is, can AI speak? So as like I talk about Alexa or I talk about the Google AI assistant, we generally talk, hey Google, call XYZ, then text a message to XYZ person. So what happens is, there are few services in the AWS like which converts our text into voice, and the other services, it converts our voice into text. So here we while talking about Poly, Amazon Poly, it is responsible for converting the text into voice. It as text extract has already extracted the text, it has converted it into a machine readable form, and then that text is converted into a voice. So there, Polly is responsible for it. Now, how can AI see? It means the recognition. For example, we have uploaded the PDF or our resume, but it is a document. So to understand the given visuals, the the Amazon recognition is responsible to see exactly what is the content behind that visuals. If we provide it an image, it analyzes that image. So the text behind or the meaning behind that image, it analyzes it. So what does actually happen in this process? So now we talked about individual service, but now will understand it in a like like when we submitted a resume, then extracted the text, then comprehend understood the context behind that text. Then Bedrock was responsible to intelligently give or respond for the input. And Poly is optional. Poly means to convert the and then we get the candidate feedback. So this is the overall process happening behind any resume before our resume goes to any human eye or the human review. So till now we saw some services like how AI can read, how AI can see, how AI can understand. But can AI have a conversations? Can we have a conversations with AI, and how we can have? For example, uh, like you are organizing any event. Let's take AWS Student Community Day, and you have several participants, like hundreds of participants are there, and Delhi, some other participant has questions regarding agenda, regarding schedule, regarding registrations. So it is not possible for any human to respond to these frequently asked questions to hundreds of participants or hundreds of queries at a time. So to answer these questions, we can have a chatbot who can be uh, who can answer to our FAQs. Like for example, because you guys are busy with organizing the other finance, might be some might be busy with designing the graphics, or some might be busy with the logistic work. So uh, you can't answer each and every question. So for that purpose, there is a chatbot which will handle the queries. If, for example, you have designed a website for your student community day, where uh, you have added everything about registration process, then ticketing, price of a ticket, then speaker agenda, then the schedule of your event, etc., and the process of uh, how you can be a part of the AWS student community day, etc. But then there, if you integrate a chatbot, then the people will ask the questions to the chatbot, and chatbot will reply or the answer to those queries. So here the human efforts are reduced, and AI will be responsible to answer those questions. Only thing is we have to train it in a prior, and then it will reply to those queries. So to to create a chatbot, there is a service called Amazon Lex. Uh, with the help of Amazon Lex, we can create a chatbots in a AWS console itself. So we'll understand this through the demonstration. Like I have few snapshots I have added into the presentation so that we can get step by step how it works. For example, this is your AWS console, and in the search panel, you can search for the Amazon Lex. So after that, so due to internet issues, I have just added this screenshot to understand, uh, because the practical is quite difficult to perform because there is a network issue at my side. So I've added the screenshot. I'll just demonstrate the screenshot, and I'll try to cover the content which is covered in the screenshots. So this is the Amazon Lex console. You can see there are bot templates, then networks of bots. So these are the new features added to the Amazon Lex. Initially, there were option to create from a scratch. Even now, also we can create from a scratch, but there is a template. For example, uh, if you have to create a bot for uh, airplane ticket booking, then you can use that their already made template. Then, for example, if you want to create a chatbot for any hotel room booking, then there is also a pre-built template in the Amazon Lex. Then next is networks for bots. This is a new feature added. Means if you have a multiple bots with you, and it's overwhelming to handle multiple bots at a time or to train them, then what we can do is we can have one centralized bot which will handle the rest all multiple bots, and so it will become easy for us to manage the different bots. For example, I have a different bot for HR department. I have a different bot for IT department. So to manage them, we can have one centralized bot which will be responsible for the so that centralized bot intelligently understand that exactly where the user request should be uh, forwarded, and accordingly it will forward the request to the specific bot. Like for example, if I have a request for HR department, then it intelligently it will forward my or direct my request to the HR department bot. If I have some IT resources requirement, the bot will intelligently direct my uh, request to the IT department bot. So uh, this is exactly how it works. Now we'll click on a create button. You can see this in yellow color. It is a create chatbot. Then there are like three options for first like creation methods. There are traditional and generative AI. Like you can go from scratch, you can build chatbot by yourself, or with the help of AI you can take a help of it to help with some, for example, writing, suggesting the name of the bot, then description for it, then the context, etc. After that, there are three options where you can go for creating a blank bot from scratch, or you can start with an example. There are pre-configured language, then intents, then slot types, and you can also customize few settings. Then third option is start with transcript. If you have any transcript with you to guide the bot, you can just upload that document over here, and according to your transcript, the bot will be created. So we'll give a name to our bot, that is, as we are creating a bot for our AWS Student Community Day. So I have given a name to my bot, AWS Student Builder Assistant. So description is optional, where for your understanding, or for you may add a description over it to give a purpose to that bot. That AI assistant for AWS Student Builder group events such as AWS Student Community Day. It helps participants with registration, ticketing, schedules, venue information, speaker, and event FAQs. So as we discussed earlier, that we don't have, as an organizer, we don't have that time to answer each and every query. So this bot will be responsible to help the participant with different queries. Like there might be queries regarding registration process, then might be ticketing prices, then the people might be having the query with the where exactly the event will be happening, the venue information, then who all will be the speakers, and the frequently asked questions. So here, the selection of IAM role. So basically, it is IAM role means it gives the bot or a AWS service that permission to perform the action or to perform any particular a specific action. Like for example, if you take a first option, like create a role with basic Amazon Lex permissions, then it will use its existing role. But if you go for the use, if you means for example, you can customize, if you have to customize the permissions of your bot, then you can use the IAM permission or IAM service of Amazon Web Services, where you can customize the permissions for your bot, or you can directly go for the option that you can use the existing role. Then next is bot error logging. There are two options. It's optional, you can disable, but it is a best practice to enable, because if we face any issue with our chatbot, any unexpected errors or any issues with our bot, then we can easily debug using this option. Next is Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So if this content is it is a student university content, so we'll go for the second option, that is no. Then ideal session timeout. We have chosen 5 minutes. It was default time, but it is enough for us. Like how much a long time we have to maintain the session of this chatbot. So this is until that the chatbot or the Lex will retain the context of your information provided or the conversation you have did with the chatbot. Now next is about language selection. So here, depending on the region which you have selected, now I have selected the N Virginia region. So according to based on the different regions, we can select the different language for our chatbots. For example, we can go for Hindi, or maybe we go for Marathi, Gujarati, or English. So here we select the language of our chatbot in which the participants can interact with the bot. It's a primary language for interacting with event participants. Now you can go for the enable speech to speech interference. That is, if you want to talk instead of chatting, if you want to have a conversation with your bot with while using the uh, means in an interactive way, or in a with instead of chatting, if you want to give a input in a audio format, then you can use this option. And in the reply, instead of chatting, the bot will also respond in a speech format or in a audio format. So again, here you can select the different text voices or the different voices you want, and you can give here a sample of voice. Like whenever you will approach a bot, then what bot will reply at the first. Now next is creating of intent. There are two options when we create a bot, that is new intent and the default intent. So default intent, it is a best practice that never you should never delete the default intent, that is fallback intent, because whenever the bot fails to respond to your uh, when your bot fails to respond to your answer, then it will use that fallback intent to respond to your answer to your question. So what is meant by intent? So basically, to understand the request of a user, like example, कि अगर someone is asking कि how to do registration, कोई पूछ सकता है कि registration process क्या है, कोई पूछ सकता है कि रजिस्ट्रेशन कहाँ पे करना है, कब रजिस्ट्रेशन स्टार्ट होंगे. सो बेसिकली दे ऑल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रजिस्ट्रेशन, बट the context comes to registration. So bot must understand कि they are talking only about registration, and then it will be confident enough to answer the user's input. So we'll create the registration intent, where in that intent will train the model for the registration with the registration information. Like here is an option to add your utterance. Like utterance means जैसे कि I said कि someone may ask in their different form, like how do I registration, then where is the registration link, then where can I register. So everyone is asking about registration only, just they have a different format of asking or different way of asking. So whenever the person will ask about registration, the bot will ultimately understand that they are asking about registration, and they will respond to. Here I will be storing one message when someone will ask me about registration. My bot will respond to it with the default message which I have saved here. And after that, I will save the intent. Then next is, now here you can see we have two intents for our chatbot. That is fallback intents when our bot does not matches with the input does not matches with the trained content. Then the fallback intent is being called. Then next is registration intent, which we have created for specifically for the registration inquiry. Similarly, I will create the intents for the other as well, like ticket information, for venue information, then schedule information, then there might be questions regarding swag. Whenever we attend any event, so most of the people have the question like ki swag kya hoga, what will get into a swag. Then for in volunteer intent, I have put some like process of how like people have some questions ki how I can become a volunteer for this event, or can I become or what is the eligibility to become a volunteer here. Then people might ask you regarding the venue, what is the venue for the event, then what is the nearby places to be visited near the venue, or how is there any navigation map you have prepared for the venue navigation. Then at the time of ticketing or the booking of the event, there might be questions like what is the price of early bird, can we get a discount, can we get a group discount. So different intent, the purpose behind different intent, creating different intent is for every different information for any specific category, people might be asking the frequently, I mean, they might be frequently asking the same questions but in a different format. So here successfully I have created the bot. Now next is, in the last image you can see here in the blue color, not built, because now I have just given, I've just added the intent to the bot, I have given training resources to the bot, but yet I haven't built it or I haven't trained it. Once I click on the build button, the bot will the bot will be get trained. And now here you can see it is successfully built. And now in the first image you can see like I have asked, my now chatbot is ready to answer. Once I click on this test button, my bot is ready to answer your questions. For example, I asked it about price of a ticket. Then in the initial response, I stored this answer or this response, that whenever someone will ask me regarding any ticketing, like discount or any might be group discount or the early bird ticket price, or regarding anything regarding ticket, my bot will respond with this answer. Early bird tickets are available at rupees 299. Please refer to the registration for updated pricing information. And next question I asked is keynote time. So keynote time was the intent in speaker intent, where I stored everything about the speakers, like a number of speakers, then who all are the speakers, what is the keynote time, then who will be the keynote speaker, what at what time it will be, and at what time the keynote will start, etc. So when I talk about, and even in the when I talk about time or when I talk about keynote, it it has generated the response that the keynote begins at 10 a.m. Please check the event website for the complete agenda and session timings. So here's how it works. Might be अगर मैंने यहाँ पे the way of my way of asking was price of ticket. तो आप में से कोई ऐसे भी पूछ सकता है ओनली प्राइस, या फिर टिकट, या फिर कोई पूछ सकता है कि हाउ मच इज द प्राइस ऑफ अर्ली बर्ड टिकट स्पेसिफिकली. सो बॉट इज इंटेलिजेंट इनफ टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एग्जैक्टली वो टिकट इंटेंट के बारे में बात कर रहे, टिकट इंफॉर्मेशन की बात कर रहे. सो दे विल जनरेट दिस रिस्पॉन्स एंड दे विल आस्क द यूजर टू get the updated information from their official website. In the next image you can see is uh, as are there any placement opportunities. So I get the response from the bot is intent fallback, intent is fulfilled. So now the fallback intent, which is a default intent, is it is being get triggered because as I haven't trained my model with any placement information. I haven't added any placement regarding context to my bot कि यहाँ पे आपको प्लेसमेंट की अपॉर्चुनिटीज है या फिर प्लेसमेंट रिलेटेड बूथ्स हो गए या फिर प्लेसमेंट रिलेटेड मेंटरशिप होगी एटसेट्रा. I haven't added anything regarding placement, so bot is unable to respond it. uh, that's why it triggered the fallback intent at that time. Then again, I have added one intent about venue intent where I have talked about the nearby places, then venue facilities, then venue, what is the venue address, etc. But I haven't given any context regarding the facility for the stay, like where there is there any facility or is there any option to stay, to have a night stay over there or not. So again, bot is not able to respond to this question. So again, it has triggered the fallback intent and it responded with the uh, intent fallback intent is fulfilled. So this is how the Lex works. It helps us to uh, create a chatbots, and it helps us to solve this challenge of answering to hundreds of participants at a time. And it also reduces the human manual work. And so you can so in the organizations, why chatbots are used is so that the team can focus on the development part or on the productive things instead of replying to the frequently asked questions, because it consumes a lot of time of that team or that employee. So chatbots are here to reduce the manual works so that enterprise can focus on their growth and their development part. So real lesson from this overall presentation or from this was that AI is a collection of building blocks. Like initially we discussed each services differently, like what is text extract, what is comprehend, what is recognition. But at the end, they are the building blocks for any application or for any project or for any use case. So basically, I would say if you want to learn the AI or if you are starting with your AI journey, then I would suggest instead of just reading any documentation or just going with a specific uh, service, you must take one use case. For example, you can take a use case that I have to design any plane flight ticket booking bot or an application or any library management application. Then you can study which all services do you require. For example, you require a chatbot to answer the FAQs. You require you require uh, a specific service there. So in this way you will understand कि कौन से प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कौन कौन सी सर्विसेज लग रही है, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल स्टार्ट फिगरिंग आउट कि कौन सी सर्विस हमें यूज करनी है and which all services can be integrated. So it will help you to learn the services easily instead of just reading the documentation and just doing the hands-on with any specific service. So thank you. Stay connected, grow together. This is my LinkedIn. You can connect me with you can connect me on a LinkedIn so that if you have any further if you need any demo or any recording, then we can provide you. As due to the network issue, I've just added the screenshots. If you afterwards you need any recording from the practical chatbot creation, then I can share with you guys. Thank you so much. So over to you. Uh,
Thank you so much, Bhumi ma'am, for such an informative and insightful session. I'm sure everyone have learned a lot about AWS AI services. We will now move to the Q&A session. So if anyone has any doubt or question, please drop them in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself to ask the question directly.
I think there is one question in a chat box that is, are the AWS services free on student ID? Uh, Student ID means actually what you can do is there is a free tier service provided by AWS, like free tier account creation, where earlier there was 12-month free tier. Now they have revamped to 6 months, so that once you create your free tier account, with like basic, you just need your UPI details, like your UPI ID, and it will just take a 10 minutes of it's a 10 minutes of process. And then after creation of a free tier account, you will get 100 credits, and 100 credits where you can use it for using different services available at free of cost. There you can also see like which all services are available in the free tier account. And after creating different services or exploring different services, you will again get more 100 credits. Then after 6 months, automatically your account will get deleted if your credits are being exhausted, or if your credits are there, then you can use until they exist. So you can use the AWS services for free at least for the 6 months. Okay. For this hackathon, is it mandatory to use AWS service, or there are points? Sorry, I didn't get at exactly which hackathon you are talking about.
Previously, we will recommend if you use AWS services.
So, do you mean like which services we can use for the hackathons? Okay, so in cohorts, okay. So I think you can use Amazon Bedrock, which I covered in this presentation, but I just gave an overview of it. But Bedrock is where your students can also have a like it's like a playground where students can leverage different models, foundational models, because each model has their different capabilities and different charges. And Bedrock is something, it is based on pay as you go. मतलब अगर आपने अभी Bedrock में कोई मॉडल क्रिएट किया है, या फिर यू आर यूजिंग अ Bedrock, it will not charge you till मतलब आपने कुछ उसे इनपुट दिया है. So it's based on the number of inputs or number of tokens you are providing it to it. So जब तक आप उसे कोई input नहीं देते, it will not consume your credits. So दो आप उसे आप like Bedrock वैसे ही चालू रखते हो, तो कोई charges नहीं होगा. But as soon as you start interacting with the playground, then charges will start. So I think Bedrock is the best to use. Even अभी Kiro है जो trend में है, you can explore Kiro as well, because uh, I think generative AI से भी अभी agentic AI पे पूरा transform हो रहा है. So most of the even student builder groups are also trying to give talks on Kiro as well. कि जिसमें आप like instead of just giving a prompt, you can go for a step driven, that is a structured like you can give a goal to your uh, uh, prompt, and accordingly you can get the output, or you can create different applications. You can provide what all technologies you need for your applications. So फिर Kiro is also a good option to go, as it is in a trend now. And even I got a request for Amazon Q from your side, but Amazon Q now AWS is official. It is going to be like discontinued from 2027. Instead of Amazon Q, now they have replaced it with Kiro. They have transformed it to agentic AI. So next question was, do I need to know machine learning to use this services or other plug and play APIs? Okay, so actually in Bedrock, if you are talking about Bedrock, there are already their inbuilt third party or the Amazon's own foundational models. So you just need to select that model and they are already trained on it. But for experimenting with their capabilities, you can try it so that you can understand. For example, if you are starting with any venture, so at that time you can get कि exactly आपको कौन सा foundational model use करना चाहिए, because every model has their own capability. Accordingly, they also charge. They have different costings or charges applicable. And if you talk about a plug and play APIs, then I would recommend you to go for Kiro. In Kiro, there is an option to plug and play with APIs. Like you may integrate with like if you are planning any e-commerce platform, then you can integrate any payment gateway with it, like Razor Pay, etc. So recently, मतलब अभी like one of the community day, I delivered the talk on Kiro. So they are delivered on some student assistant application. There, when we upload a large, like lengthy notes onto it, it just gives as a summarize. It summarizes that content or it generates the flashcards. There I was trying to integrate few APIs as you are asking. So you can explore the Kiro. It is based in current market. Then next is which AWS AI service would be the easiest to use to build our project with. Like, okay, so basically, if you want to, if you're new to AWS or for a cloud computing, you may start with a basic website deployment. I think before my session, in the first session, already I guess there was something on web deployment, if I'm not wrong. So you can deploy your static website using S3. You don't need any heavy like coding or as such any integrations. It's a static website. You just need to give a name to your website, then just upload your HTML file to it or any whichever the tech stack you're using, and enable the static website option, and you will get the website will get live. Then next is you can go for EC2 instance creation, so that you can understand that how much capacity is required. Like in free tier कौन से instances available होते हैं, in paid which all are available. Then next is you can go for Amplify, which is also very best example. For example, if you are a final year student and if you have any you have designed any web application, then you can deploy it on the Amplify instead of S3, because S3 is very you can use at the initial stage, but Amplify you can use Amplify to manage, like Amplify manages the domain as well. So you can try it, and every time you can integrate it with GitHub as well, because अगर आपका website या फिर project GitHub पे stored है, you can integrate Amplify with your GitHub account, and as many times you like do modifications in your GitHub account, it will automatically reflect into your website. So it is also a best service you can explore. एंड अभी जो हमने एआई सर्विसेज की बात की, सो आप ये यू कैन आल्सो ट्राई योर ओन एंड, बिकॉज लाइक अगर इफ यू गो फॉर पॉली, even while creating chatbot. I haven't shown in my presentation, but you can try that option of Poly, which creates a text into a voice. मतलब आपने आपने इनपुट दिया है टेक्स्ट में, तो आपका बॉट आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा ऑडियो में. या फिर नेक्स्ट सर्विस यू कैन यूज इट कि you can also use that functionality of the mic in a chatbot. तो आप ट्राई कर सकते हो कि जो मैंने एक बेसिक बॉट दिखाया उसमें भी आप कोई एडवांस्ड यूज कर सकते हो. Then next is should I use Bedrock for initial stages of testing messaging? Then the project one dependence which makes us to हाँ yes, जैसे कि मैंने बोला कि बेडरॉक आप अगर सिर्फ बना के रखते हो then it might not cost you, but जितने as soon as you start conversation with it, it will start consuming your tokens or your credits. और आप कर सकते हो इनिशियल स्टेज में, जैसे कि आई सेड कि फ्री टियर इज देयर फॉर 6 months, so already you get a 100 tokens. So I think around 100 credits you get, तो around easily 750 to 800 words easily यूज कर सकते हो. मतलब around 1000 tokens you can use for the experimentation.
Okay, so now we can wrap up this Q&A session. Thank you so much everyone for your questions, and thank you so much ma'am for sharing such detailed insights. Thank you for taking up the session and expressing sharing your knowledge, experiences and valuable insights with us. Now, before we conclude, I have a small request for all participants. We have two feedback forms here. Please scan these QR and fill the form. Please note that participants who will be successfully submitting the form will only receive the certificate of participation. So we will be giving you 1 to 2 minutes for scanning these QR and then filling the form. So thank you everyone for joining today's meet. As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our speaker, Ms. Bhoomi Raut, again for taking time to share her knowledge and valuable insights with us. Thank you, ma'am, for making this session so engaging, informative, and inspiring. Now, Thank you for the participants also for joining us today and for your active participation throughout the session.